Hey, my brothers and sisters, Brother Billy. Like my photo being twisted like that. Brother Billy, just want to. I saw a tweet that came out from Candance Owens. Um, and I was just reading some of the comments because Candance Owens put out a tweet and talked about don't worry about the gag order in Charlie Kirk's case. I plan to violate it on the world's behalf. The things I've discovered this past week are enough to burn the house down. Yes, Charlie was betrayed by everyone. This was a tweet that she just put out today. And I was just reading some of the comments in the tweet and looking at the amount of distrust that people tend to have in Candance Owens. Now, this is not to tell you to trust Candance Owens or to not trust Candance Owens. You could, you follow your own heart. Um, but I was just wondering when I saw and know, because I follow Candance Owens, know the people that are just highly, highly skeptical about a lot of what she's doing and a lot of the things she say and things of that matter. And I just began to wonder. That's why I read in this title this. Why do you have so much distrust in Candance Owens, but you trust in government? And that's just a question I would like for you to ask yourself and then answer it. I mean, like I say, I follow Candance Owens, and I'm not telling you to follow her. I'm not telling you to like her. I'm not telling you to trust or believe in nothing. Um, as Christians, we are supposed to follow the truth, believe the truth, reject lies. It doesn't matter if it's coming from Democrats or Republicans. If it's a lie, you reject it. Because as believers, I am not beholding to a party. I'm not beholden to the Democrat, neither am I beholden to the Republican Party. I'm faithful and loyal to Jesus. I'm accountable to Jesus. So I just began to ask myself, why is it that people have so much distrust in Candance Owens, but yet they have so much trust, um, but they don't have that level of distrust in the government. What I mean is this: I began to just go down memory lane just a few years, and the biggest thing I want to address, well, out of the list of the things I wrote down, this was the first one that come to mind: COVID. Because again, we're trying to figure out why you have so much distrust in Candance Owens, but so much trust in the government. And the question I would ask you is, who have lied to you the most? Who? You look at COVID that came out in 2020. There are a lot of you right now. You injected yourself with a shot that was promoted, that was pushed, that was approved by our government as safe and effective. You take it, you'll be able to go around grandma and you know if we just stay in our houses and stay 6 feet apart, that we'll be able to get back to normal in just a few days, a couple of weeks, 2 weeks, 10 days, or whatever the number was. Our government told us all this stuff. If you wear a mask, you won't catch COVID. Neither will you be able to, give COVID to somebody else. Just put your mask on. Dr. Fauci come out and say, double mask. You can double mask. Then he come back out and like people who are wearing a mask, I mean, just unintended consequences because you really ain't doing nothing by wearing them. So they were just all over the place. All this came from our government. Safe and effective. But if you do any kind of research into, you know, the they call it the VAERS system, where they record you know, these reactions that people have, which, you know, a lot of people have some really bad reactions. A lot of people were unalive because of that shot. A lot of people suffering right now today because of it. But you still got a lot of faith in the government, and you distrust Candance Owens, who was telling you, don't do it. Candance was saying, don't do it. Don't do it. You don't need to do that. You need to, you need to think about that. You need to look into that. Be cautious about that. Just don't take the government's word and just, put some foreign something in your body. I don't see why, anyway. A lot of people did it, not condemning you for doing it. At the time you were afraid and fearful, and that's why God warned us, don't be fearful. God has not given us a spirit of fear, power, love, and of a sound mind. That's why he tells us that, because when you are fearful and under the control of fear, you make bad decisions. You make illogical decisions. Some of them are irreversible. But anyway, they told us that during COVID. That came from the government. And a lot of people believe and trust the government, and a lot of people are, experiencing some bad, results of that decision that they made. But then we go to the Russia collusion, because we're just looking at things the government told us, and I'm wondering why you are not as skeptical of the government as you are about Candance Owens. When you look at these things, Candance Owens on the other side of a lot of these things, but you trust the government over Candance Owens. That to me don't make no sense. The Russia collusion. We were telling you from the get-go, this is a scam. This Russia collusion is a scam. It's a hoax. Donald Trump was saying it because you don't like him, you just throw it out the window. That's why I try to tell people, don't let your personal opinion and personal feelings about people distort and cause you to be blind to the truth. Donald Trump was saying this. I didn't believe this because Donald Trump was saying it. I believe it was a hoax because I was just kind of using my common sense that God gave me. Logic, putting feelings aside, and just using logic. Anybody, that was using a little bit of logic and just not operating up on how they feel, they could look and see, man, they really going after this man. This is unprecedented. You could have said, I don't like Trump, but this look kind of shady. It looked like this is political. They're going after him, to make a statement, not because he committed a crime. They got that saying, show me the man and I'll find the crime. You just give me the man you want me to, find something on. Just show me that man. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about whether or not he's guilty of what you accusing him of. Show me the man you want. We'll find a crime. If we can't find one, we'll make one up. And that's what they did with the Russia collusion. They made up a crime on President Trump. Doesn't matter how you feel about President Trump. If it's true, it's true. If it's false, it's false. And it was true. They made up a hoax against the man. And so, but you still believe the government over Candance Owens. And I'm just asking why. What about the Hunter Biden laptop? They told us that thing was that's disinformation. Disinformation. It was fake. That was another hoax. That came right up before the election, which would have messed Joe Biden up. Joe Biden would have had a serious issue if all this stuff on his laptop was true about his son. And about him being the big man, he was the big man in that on that laptop. Do you know that? The big man was Joe Biden, who Hunter had to give a cut from that money he was getting. Mm-hmm. But their government told you, that's a conspiracy theory. They just lying on Joe Biden. That's just Russian disinformation. That's all that is. Russian, and then we have about 50 something intel agents come out and say that's Russian disinformation. So Brother Billy asking just the logical question, why you still got so much faith in the government? I'm gonna give you my theory at the end, but you distrust Candance Owens on just about everything she says and point out. You have a lot of distrust in her. She's like the worst of the worst. Even the things she say about Israel, you just anti-Semitic, she's anti-Semitic. And some of y'all, so let me say this. Some of y'all have a unbiblical view of Israel. I ain't gonna get too deep in this right here, but I might talk about this one day. But a lot of you Christians, Protestant Christians especially, you have an unbiblical view of Israel. Your view is so unbiblical that if somebody speaks something about even the government of Israel, because when I hear Candance Owens speaking against Israel, it's the government. Bibi, Bibi Netanyahu, the prime minister of Israel. When she's calling out Bibi Netanyahu, you being a Protestant, you associate that with the people, the nation, God's chosen people. And how dare her call out God's chosen people? You're biblically illiterate. You are. Sorry. The people of Israel are not God's chosen people. They were God's chosen people. The church, born again believers in Jesus Christ, are God's people. They are the sons and daughters of Abraham. But because you don't, because you're biblically illiterate in a lot of that, like again, I was the same way. Somebody say something against Israel, you just go off your rockers because you go into defense mode. How dare Candance, say something about BB? So you see where a lot of this understanding, how it shapes us, shapes the way we think, shapes the way we respond. That's why you distrust Candance Owens, because if she speaks something, just mind you now, we ain't talking about speaking something that's not true. Speaking something that is true. That is whether you like it or not, what Bibi Netanyahu is doing in Israel, in Gaza, that could fall up under a Holocaust, ethnic cleansing. That could, yes, it could definitely fall up under that, what he's doing in Gaza. That had nothing to do with whether they Muslims. No, it doesn't have nothing to do with the nationality of people he's doing this to. That's why y'all missing the boat. You think God loved Israel, the people, more than he loved the Palestinians or the Gaza people, whatever nationality you want to call them people in Gaza. You think God loved them more? Or loved them less? No, if somebody's doing something wrong to a Muslim person, it's wrong. If somebody's doing something wrong to a Christian person, it's wrong. If somebody's doing something wrong to a non-believing person, an atheist, it's still wrong. You don't justify it simply because, oh, that's a Christian. That's Israel. So we're going to let Israel get away with whatever they want to do. God didn't let them get away with what they wanted to do. Did he? He constantly sent nations against them to beat their behind, to correct them, to send them into captivity. Why? Because they were disobedient. So anyway, so a lot of people have this distrust in Candance Owens, but they have such a trust in our government, and I'm just trying to figure out why. Another thing, what about them Epstein files? I that's getting a little, you know, Trump, Trump. You know I like you, Trump. You know I like you, but you need to release them Epstein files. You need to release them files now. Yeah, Joe Biden had the same files you had. You got. He had them for 4 years. I know a lot of people don't want to look at that the fact that Joe Biden had them same files that y'all saying Trump need to release the file. Trump need to release the file. Why are you holding back them Epstein files? You wasn't saying Joe Biden had them same files that he didn't release. Am I right about it? Am I right about it? He had them same files that he did not release. But Trump need to release them because by not releasing them, he make himself and his surrounding, his company, is he implicated in it? Is people he close to implicated in? I don't know. But it just don't it doesn't look good by him not releasing them Epstein files. So why we have so much distrust in Candance, but so much trust in our government? And when you want to talk about the Epstein file, don't be a hypocrite and just look at why Trump ain't releasing them Epstein files. Which I'm with you. I think he should. I think he should release them. I don't know why they holding them back, but they need to come out. But remember again, Joe Biden administration had those same files that they sat on for 4 years. So don't be a hypocrite. Don't be a hypocrite. Trump need to release them Epstein files. Trump need to release. Joe Biden had them Epstein files. He didn't release them. So let's be honest and fair. Because we Christians. We follow the truth wherever that may go, right? So that means we condemn Trump for not releasing them, and we condemn Joe Biden for not releasing them, right? Okay, right. Now, then they said that Epstein killed himself. I mean, this would just be a conspiracy theory from me. I don't believe the man killed himself. I don't understand why you would believe that. Oh, because the government say this would happen. They put out all the information they want us to see and form a story and say this is what happened. He's in a maximum security place by himself with cameras and guards but the camera that would show us what happened, that one malfunctioned. That one wasn't working. We only got these little angles that you can't see nothing. But the one that would show us in his cell, oh man, what happened? That camera happened to go out. That the one went out. And you believe that. And if somebody like Candance come and say something different, that's conspiracy. They just into all that conspiracy. You want the official narrative and you run it, you eating that, like my dog Coco eat his food. You just eating it up. I'm just asking the question, why? Why do you have so much distrust in Candance Owens, but so much trust in the government? And everything I've telling you so far, outside of Jeffrey Epstein, killing himself, which is just my opinion that he didn't kill himself, but everything else is pretty much a fact. Everything else has been proven to be lies that the government told us. Everything else outside of Epstein killing himself, I think that's a lie they told us, but we don't have no evidence of that right now. But I think it's a lie. You had to get rid of him because he probably been about to talk. He about to bring down some big dogs. We can't have you dropping names like that, buddy. We got to get rid of you. You know, people that got close to the Clintons. If you look at the history of people that been close to the Clintons, who just kind of somehow, you know, they disappeared. They just out of the blue, just kind of, just died. Just it was just a mishap. People that were close to the Clintons. Mm-hmm. Think that's what happened with Jeffrey Epstein. He knew too much. And if he started dropping names, boy, he had some names of people at the top. He knows some of them big dogs. Mm-hmm. And so it make me wonder who's implicated in all of this. People that would have us like, what? Mm-hmm. That's why they don't really release them files, in my opinion. That's why they're telling us the man kill himself, in my opinion. Now, one more, and then I'll get to my theory. 9/11. You remember 9/11? This happened 20-something years ago. We got the official story on 9/11. Most of us still believe the official narrative, the official story that was given to us. Every year they play it on 9/11. You can watch it. I used to watch it, pretty regular one time. I don't watch it now like that. Now I'd rather listen to somebody like Tucker Carlson on, his theory of what happened. Because I believe the government lied about 9/11. I don't believe it went down the way they say it went down. I done looked into it a little bit. It didn't go down the way they tell us. The official narrative that we got. It was a bunch. It's some crazy. And see, the thing is, most of us can't even imagine that our government, or either just world governments, would collude and bring to pass, orchestrate an event that would take the lives of so much innocent people. For most of us, that's like, no, there's no way. There's no way. There's no way. I mean, I could see other governments having something to do with that, but there's absolutely no way, Brother Billy, the U.S. government would have anything to do with something like that against its own people. That's where we are naive at. That's where we are naive. Every country, not every country, most countries think my government would never do such a thing to its own people. You better look back up in the history about the people, the governments that slaughtered and wiped out their own people. I think Stalin was one of them. You better look back in history. Talking about thinking, you know what the Second Amendment was for? Not so you can just go out and hunt deers and buffaloes and shoot. No. The primary reasons for the Second Amendment from the founding fathers, so you can be able to fight against a tyrannical government. So if the government go rogue, you got a way to defend yourself and your family. That's the primary reason for the Second Amendment. Yes. Against a rogue, tyrannical government. Yeah. So they lied about 9/11. You just have to do your own research. So everything I've talked about so far, except Epstein killing himself, even 9/11 is proven too. You just have to look into it and see that we were lied to about these things. And so the question becomes, why do people have so much distrust in Candance Owens, but they have so much faith and confidence in our government after all these lies? Everything I'm telling you right now, they're lies. Some of them not proven lies, like Epstein killed himself. That's not a proven lie. But all these other, they are lies that you can verify. Wow, they lied about this. This didn't happen like this. Wow, you can verify these things that they were lies told to you by your government. Yet Candance Owens comes out and starts telling you things about Charlie Kirk. Because that's one of the latest things she's on, Charlie Kirk. And when she just kind of got a web, a net that she casts, and this net she casting, Israel just so happened to be up under it. And that's where y'all like, oh, she just crazy. You done lost her mind. She is absolutely insane. You need to look up something about Israel. Something I looked up recently. Look up how many people. Now, again, I'm not saying Israel did anything to Charlie Kirk. I don't know that. But I'm not going to discount it either. I'm not going to be like some of y'all and be like, just take Israel out of that. Keep Israel out of that, Brother Billy. Them God's chosen people. What's wrong with you? Look up how many people Israel has assassinated. Just go and look that up. Because I pulled it up just recently. It was like over 2,000 people. That it was a lot. That Israel has personally assassinated. They got the highest, if I'm not mistaken, they got the highest amount of carried out assassinations than any other country. Israel. So now with that kind of record, you just how can you just automatically assume they have nothing to do with Charlie Kirk? How can you make that? How can you come to that conclusion? Oh, that's God's people, Brother Billy. God's people. God said Himself that Israel was the wickedest nation there was. God Himself said that. God rebuked Israel and said they were more wicked than the other nations. You understand how wicked God's chosen people back then were? What are you talking about? As if Israel is immune from sinning, from killing, from deceit, from all the wicked, evil things that is in Brother Billy to do. People in Israel can't do none of that. They can't lie, cheat, and steal. They the one be giving the 10 Commandments. Do you understand that? Why were they giving the 10 Commandments? God should just give them to the nations that, didn't know Him, that couldn't lie, cheat, and steal. He gave them to Israel. Why? Because they could lie, cheat, and steal just like everybody else. All have sinned and come short of the glory of God. Y'all got to get y'all biblical theology correct. So, my theory on the fact that why, I'm about to end this, why is it that people have so much distrust in Candance Owens, but have so much trust in the government when just go look over all the things that the government has lied to you about? And I wrote this right here down. This is my theory. Some of us are uncomfortable with people who rock the boat. That's my theory. Some of us are uncomfortable with people who rock the boat. In other words, if you listen at some of the things from a neutral state that Candance is saying, and a lot of y'all will fall in this category, some of the things she's saying make a lot of sense. You know that. A lot of you even believe that a lot of what she's saying is true. It don't just make sense. You believe, yeah, I think she is onto something. She is. I believe she is telling the truth about this. I believe she is on to something. But what you is like, but I mean, it makes you uncomfortable. The people who she implicate in a lot of these her theories makes you uncomfortable. It's like, no, it makes you uncomfortable. And she implements even President Trump in things. She does. And that makes you, as a Trump supporter, that makes you like, whoa, Candance. Now, not MAGA. You're going to leave, you got to leave. You can implement Joe Biden, Kamala, and Obama and all them, but you hands off President Trump. It makes you uncomfortable. Not saying Trump has nothing to do with the thing that she implicates him in. But again, you would be naive to just say, no way. Brother Billy ain't saying no way. Not doing it. I done seen too much in the last 10 years not saying no way this person had anything to do with this. Can't say it. Can't say it. Cannot say it. So my theory again is you just uncomfortable. You can't handle the apple cart being rocked. Just leave that. Candace, just leave the apple cart alone. I know there's a lot of rotten apples in the apple cart, Candace. I know that. And I know somebody need to throw them out, because if they don't, it's going to ruin all the apples in the apple cart. But the apple cart is still rolling good. It ain't turned over. Bad apples in it, and yeah, all of them gonna go bad. But leave it alone. Just leave it alone, because I don't want to see the whole thing get turned upside down. I don't want to see. That's how some of us are. That's how some of us are. We know something ain't right, but leave it alone. I know this ain't right, but don't bother it. I know what they're saying ain't right, but don't say nothing. Don't say nothing. Just pray. Just pray. That's all. That's what Christians like to say. Just pray. And yes, Lord, we need to pray. But my Bible also says faith without works is dead. Prayer goes up under faith, because you can't see God. You can't see the one you're talking to. That's faith, believing that he hear you. But faith without works is dead. So some of us are just uncomfortable. And because we're uncomfortable, and the reason why a lot of us are uncomfortable, because we're cowards. You're uncomfortable because Candace is bold as a lion. She really is. She's, whether you like her or not, she's a bold, she's bold. Whether she's right or wrong, she's bold. And you are a coward. And because you are a coward, you feel some type of way against Candance Owens, because you're scared. You believe what she's saying, but you would never say it. You believe a lot of what she's saying, but you are too scared to say it yourself. A coward. Uncomfortable. Just leave the apple cart alone. Just leave it alone. Don't bother it, because I'm gonna get too nervous. I get nervous when you go this, so just leave it. I know bad apples, but just leave it alone. But they're gonna ruin the whole. I know that too, but it makes me so uncomfortable, Brother Billy. That's not good. Jesus ain't come to make us comfortable. Jesus was a revolutionary. That's what he was. He ain't come to make you comfortable. He ain't come to make Brother Billy comfortable. He come to make me a radical for him. That's what he came to do. So that's Brother Billy's theory. That's Brother Billy's question. Why do you have so much distrust in Candance Owens, but you trust in government, who have lied to you, lied to me, over and over and over again? And if you want to say, well, Brother Billy, Candance Owens lied too. Okay, that's a fair accusation. But again, all I want you to do, because I showed you the lies. I'm not saying Candance Owens hasn't lied. But to be fair, if you're going to make an accusation, I made an accusation against our government, and I gave you reasons why I believe they lied. It was COVID, Russia collusion, Hunter laptop, Epstein files, killing him killing himself, 9/11. It was other two, RFK. I forgot about RFK assassination and Martin Luther King assassination. Them two. We ain't got the full story on them. There's always a lone government and a lone shooter in all them cases. Always a lone shooter. Charlie Kirk, lone shooter. That was a lone shooter. Lone shooter. Tyler James, just a lone shooter. Just some nut job. It just got radical and just did that to Charlie Kirk. Ain't nobody had nothing to do with that. It's just a lone shooter, just a nut job. And we believe it. And I don't believe it. I don't believe Charlie Kirk was even, I don't believe Tyler Robinson took the shot. I don't. You can call me a conspiracy theory or what, call me what you want. I don't believe he took the shot. I believe a whole lot of people are implicated in what went down. I believe that was a professional job. I believe Tyler Robinson may have something to do with it. I don't believe he took the shot. Some of y'all may be like, well, I don't really care about nothing but that stuff, brother. I don't care about that. You need to care about that, because the question you need to ask yourself is, why did they take this man out? See, you just looking at who they took out. You need to ask yourself why. Why they took him out. That's why you need to care, because it may implicate you also. If they took this man out because they didn't like what he was saying, if that's the reason, then again, what if they don't like what Brother Billy is saying? What if they don't like what you are saying? What if they don't like what your pastor is saying on Sunday when he's teaching the word of God, saying he made them male and female? There's only two genders. Homosexuality is wrong. Adultery is wrong. Fornication is wrong. Abortion is wrong. That's a sin before God. And you going to hell if you don't repent. What if they say, no, that speech, that kind of speech right there? You see? That's how dangerous that is. But when they turn you against people and you don't understand the implications of why they did what they did, you setting yourself up. Thinking, that's Charlie Kirk. I didn't like him anyway. I didn't know him. I didn't like him. So, hey, ain't got nothing to do with me. We in the World Wide Web. There's a web coming over an entire world. None of us going to escape without Jesus. Do you understand that? Satan is casting a web over the entire world. You're not going to escape without Jesus. So you can think what's going on ain't got nothing to do with you. You are deceived. Yes, you are. You are sure enough deceived. So I'll close. Just wanted to ask that question and let you know, don't be looking at people personal and making personal, how you personally feel about somebody. Let's try to figure out and learn what is truth and what is false. And if something is true, whether it's coming from my enemy, I'm accepting that. Something is false and it's coming from my best friend, I'm rejecting that. That's what Christians do. Christians love the truth and they reject lies and falsehood. Doesn't matter who it's coming from, whether it's coming from the Democrat or Republican. If it's a lie, we reject it. If it's the truth, we accept it. That's what Christians do. Okay, y'all be blessed. Why do you have so much distrust in Candance Owens, but you trust in government? Ask yourself that question. Who's been lying to you the most? Candance Owens or your government? Y'all be blessed.